Welcome to the Go Get This Podcast, a podcast but we haven't quite decided yet, but we're going to keep doing it anyway. I'm Colby.
And I'm a frog who has leukemia. You can call me Fee.
Damn, why is this frog so grim? What happened to this frog?
You know, frogs live a difficult life. You know, we're always out in the cold and it's always wet. And how do you get leukemia? He got it though.
you know, from being out in the rain like those other people that got leukemia.
Yeah,
he worked with asbestos. Is that it? I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude, he got into where he shouldn't have and inhaled a bunch of asbestos, and then he called the asbestos guy on TV, but they couldn't help him because he's a frog.
Damn. Nobody wanted to help him. Life. Not even the Texas Hammer.
The Texas Hammer's got you. Not for this frog, though, because he's a frog.
Yeah, that's included in the commercial. The Texas Hammer is like, I'll fight for your right to get your money, except for this frog.
Unless you're a frog, I hate frogs.
God, do I hate frogs.
A frog killed my mother and poisoned my father.
Damn.
Damn, Texas Hammer. Damn, frog.
Was it that frog that did it? Damn.
No, but it's like that old like racist line of thinking. One frog did it, and all of them are guilty. Mm-hmm.
That's right. The sins of the father.
The sins of the father is the sins of all. One did it. All of y'all are guilty. All of y'all are bad. There is no good frogs. Which is
surprisingly not a bad segue into the fact that I saw Batman. So
how is that a segue?
Listen, okay, number one, before we get into anything, warning up top, this is going to be the spoiler episode for talking about Batman. We are going to talk about everything.
Hell yeah.
So if you don't, you haven't seen it yet, you don't want any spoilers, just, don't listen to this, but your price for doing that is you do have to leave us a 5-star rating.
Yeah, that's the price. You're going to miss out on all this hot Batman action. We're going to talk about how big and girthy his wiener is and how sensitive his nipples are. Oh, you're going to miss all this action.
It's going to be, and those are things they cover in the movie, for sure.
Yeah, when he's not Batman, he's Bruce Wayne, and he's brooding, and he's usually naked. And Alfred's like, Master Wayne, would you like me to relieve your stress? And he's like, God, you're not my dad, but okay.
But fine.
But fine. It's usually my dad that does this. That's the lore that you don't know about Batman.
Listen, okay. The segue works because, if you remember, the Riddler painted the sins of the father on a wall.
See. That is a good segment. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a good segue. Okay. I'm back with you.
So, yeah, I saw the Batman, and boy, is it fucking good.
Oh, damn, I told you. Okay, I'm so excited. So, before we get into anything, and for all the viewers, remember what I said last time, that I thought it was better than The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
For sure.
Opinion. Yeah, right?
Right? I think not only is it better than The Dark Knight, but like I've seen a lot of people that were like, listen, Robert Pattinson was the best Batman and Christian Bale was the best Bruce Wayne. And I could not disagree more. Because I agree. He is my favorite Batman. He's also my favorite Bruce Wayne because his take on Bruce Wayne is not like a billionaire playboy that has to keep up appearances and because like in the Dark Knight trilogy, right? Bruce Wayne shows up after being missing for a while, and then it's like, oh, I'm a big erudite rich man. But this Batman, it seems like this Bruce Wayne never really disappeared. It's just that he's been reclusive the whole time. So like anytime that you see Bruce Wayne out, people are like, holy shit, is that Bruce Wayne? The fuck is he? Where has he been?
Yeah, what the fuck? I get it, his parents died, but damn.
Damn, he just sits inside all day, I guess.
Especially the mayor at the funeral scene where she's like, man, your parents are like philanthropists and like they're badass. but you're not.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, you're not actually doing anything for the city, and it like you can tell that it's taking everything inside him to be like,
dude. Yeah, he's
yep,
like
I'm
shooting her
doing
these-
nothing for the city, you motherfucker.
He's shooting her like these side daggers. Fucking, he's like, ooh, if only you knew.
And like, so that whole scene. There's a different context. So like what I thought whenever I saw like that scene the first time was like, oh, the Riddler for sure knows that he's like that Batman is going to be in this crowd.
Yeah.
But it appears that may not be the case.
Yeah, it's
but
not the case.
I think the
But you're-
cooler thing is that like Bruce Wayne is having to like look around and he's like, I'm almost positive the Riddler's going to be here, and fucking he hears like people talking shit about cops, people talking shit about like how corrupt everything is, and he's like, is that him?
Dude,
Is
yeah,
that
the
him?
people
Is
in
that
the
him?
pews.
Yeah.
The people that came, why did they even come to the funeral? They're just like another rich scumbag in the hole, and they're sitting in the pews.
Yeah, they're sitting in the pews like, I'm at the mayor's funeral. Fuck that guy, though.
Fuck this guy, another rich guy down, but it does nothing for the city. You know, and I'm just like, why did you come, though?
Yeah, why are you here? Do you have a job or something?
Is it just like, I get it's kind of like raining outside, so maybe it came inside, but oh well. So that's
Yeah, the
jumping
funeral
ahead
started
a little.
around them. They're like, well, what the fuck? What the fuck? I don't want to be here.
I was just praying to Jesus.
No, I can't leave.
So we're jumping ahead. That scene comes later. So let's start at the beginning to arguably the best opening for any Batman movie.
Yeah, a very, very strong opening.
Dude,
So whenever we talked about it in the last episode, yeah, I love the idea that the bat signal turns on and then criminals go, "Aw, fuck." Like,
dude, and they'd like genuine fear looking in like dark shadows.
yeah.
Over Batman's like opening monologue where he's like, they think I'm in the shadows and like they're afraid. And then like everyone's like, oh shit, is he there? And
Yeah.
then like the gang of like painted up skull people who are beating up this man for no reason. The initiate that is trying wants to get into the gang sees the bat symbol, and then you hear that slow fucking walk.
Yeah.
And then he comes out of the shadows, and you're like, oh fuck. Like,
Yeah, so
that
my favorite thing about that, so there's a couple of things. Number one, my favorite thing about that particular sequence where like Batman is walking up is that like the leader of the gang is like, oh, who the fuck is this guy supposed to be? Like they don't know who Batman is.
this is second year. People know who Batman is.
Yeah,
The guy's
and like you
"Yo."
can tell the initiate knows who he is. He's just like, oh shit, dog.
But yeah, who's this guy supposed to be? And
Yeah,
fucking
the
pulls out
leader
what
of the
his-
gang's like, I've been smoking crack the past 2 years straight. Haven't taken one look at the news. Who this guy?
and like proceeds to try to fight him, and then Batman beats the shit out of him. just puts him down, and none of the gang jump in. They just watch their boss get their shit kicked in.
They're like,
Fucking-
damn. And then they jump in, and then they
Yeah.
all get their asses kicked. And then, yeah, the initiate looks at him, and it's like, ah, and runs away.
runs away.
And my favorite part about that is that at the end, the guy who they were about to beat the shit out of, the guy's like, oh, please don't hurt me. Batman's like,
I just
why would I
saved
hurt-
you.
damn, dude. That's rough.
I just took care of the guys that were just like beating you.
Batman's like, it's fine. Whatever.
It's okay. People.
But
are
I
afraid of
will
what they
say, like, I love the fact that they did show a bunch of criminals like, oh shit, we gotta go, Batman.
Yeah.
But the two groups of criminals that they showed were already done committing the crimes that they had committed. So they were just running away. They weren't like stopped. No crime was stopped. Crime was wrapped up quickly.
Look, Batman's not proactive. He's reactive. He
He's
does.
like, yeah, he's not precog. He's not waiting. He's not going to stop crime before it happens. He's like, oh, if you shoot that man, boy, am I going to get you. But until you do, I can't do a damn thing.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna wait until you have a chance to not do the crime, but once you do it, ooh, all bets are off. It's kind of, it's like mall security or something. They're like, okay, we can't do nothing until they actually steal and walk out of the store.
That's just the thing is like one guy comes in, holds up a convenience store, and then he runs outside, and then there's the bat symbol, and he gets scared, almost hit by a car, and runs away. And it's like, well, that didn't stop anything. And then there's a bunch of people that are spray painting a bank, and they go, oh, the bat symbol, the dog, cheese it. But they're done spray painting the bank, so that's done.
Yeah, so, they already committed the crime. They're just like, oh, now we were gonna go spray paint somewhere else, but not anymore.
Oh, beans.
But I mean, other than that, it is really cool. He's like, they're like, we never know where he could be, but I will stop crime.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, and then after he beats up that guy, he's like, I'm vengeance, which it sounds corny, but damn, is it badass.
It's so cool. And it's interesting that like, so whenever we talked before, the way that you made it sound was that Catwoman was the only one who called him Vengeance, but there's a lot of people that call him Vengeance actually. So it's like, it's still really cringe, but like it's less cringe.
So she just never calls him Batman. She only calls him Vengeance. Like, that's his goddamn name.
I think that's the same with Penguin, though. I think Penguin only calls him Vengeance.
No, Penguin calls him Batman.
No, he doesn't.
I think, like, a few
not
times
every
he calls
time.
Him, if he's not calling him Batman, he's calling him Baby.
Hey, baby!
Hey, baby!
No, because, like, whenever Batman interrupts the drug deal, he's like, "Thank you, Vengeance!"
Yeah, okay, yeah, he does say, "Thank you, Vengeance!" And, but I like when they first meet. He's like, "Hey, baby, why you gotta come into my bar and rough up my boys?"
Hey, well, listen, I may have been coming out at the same time, but I don't know that guy. Hey!
Did you hear that corny joke that Batman told the twins at the door? Like I told you. Remember he was like, he's like, "Hey, how would you like to be covered in blood?"
Yeah. Hey, they're like, you want your suit covered in blood? He's like, what about your suit covered in blood? They're like, that wasn't clever at all. And then they get the shit kicked out of them.
As he's walking away, see, it made sense. Just
see, I'm going to tweet that later. People are going to laugh because I am very funny.
Follow me on Twitter at battweets.com.
At Vengeance.
At Vengeance, look for my bat tweets. Just
like, so there were so many things in this movie that like were mirrored, and I really appreciated that. So like there was the scene in which he's walking through so basically at the beginning of the movie, the Riddler is like, and you could tell it's somebody who we're not supposed to like because they're breathing heavy. Yeah. They're breathing heavy like a nerd, like the kid from Hey Arnold.
And he's like,
"What did I tell you, Gotham?"
Ooh. And then he's like like autism, like he has Asperger's.
Yeah, he's very unhinged, which I really appreciate. I really like that as part of his character. But like the movie starts off with him like looking in the mayor's house, and then he like appears behind the mayor and kills him. Right?
Yeah,
it's a very
like,
very good
sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
It's good,
but
not
like, very subtle.
Like he attacks him, and like it looks like he's gonna like lose the upper hand, but then he like hits him with a floor scraper.
Yeah.
Which
a very ornate one.
remember the scraper because it comes into play later.
Yeah, it does. So he hits him with this tool. Man dies, right?
Of course.
Riddler does. Riddler is on top of him, like taping him, and it really did look like he was unzipping his pants to pull his cock out.
Oh,
he didn't. But it really looked like it.
It looked like it was like getting real sexual because like after he killed him, he sat on top of his like sat on top of him for a little bit, and he was like, and like he was getting like really heavy breathy, and like I was like, what are you gonna do to him?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I was like,
I don't want to watch
really?
this. And then it was just tape. I was like, okay. Well,
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's
bad.
that's
right, guys.
that's less sexual, but still sexual.
So like that happens, and then the whole thing with Batman being the man, is great. And then like there's this scene where Batman is walking through like a bunch of hallways, and these cops are just like turning around and look at him like, what the fuck? And they're whispering,
that's when
what the fuck is he doing here?
Yeah, that's when we actually kind of get a look at Batman instead of just fighting people, walking in his full suit through the cops. And Gordon's like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. And then everyone's, he's like, what is he doing here? Cops only. And he's like, he's with me. He's let him in. He's with me. The captain ain't gonna like this, Lieutenant.
Yeah. I love that. I love that Gordon is like so ready to go to bat for Batman though. Like he's like, nah, he's with me. Don't worry about him. And Martinez is like, all right, I fucking guess, Gordon.
He's a freak though. And Martinez is funny too because like, so he's like, oh, Batman's such a freak. But at the funeral, he's like, oh, that's Bruce Wayne.
He's like, oh, hey, it's Bruce. Hey there, Bruce.
He's such a minor character, but he's always popping up.
He's
it's
great.
Always fucking funny.
So like,
because
Batman gets all of these people staring at him. And I do love that Martinez is the only one that was dumb enough to just stand in front of him like, hey, whoa.
Whoa, what do we got here?
Hold it there, Batty.
We got a big bat in our belfry.
Hey.
Hey. But the cool thing about that is you see him being the detective and like seeing things and being like, oh yeah, the killer was here already. He came through the skylight and he killed him with this weapon. And everyone's like, oh shit, we didn't notice that. And,
like you see Batman look at the blood that's on the ground and like he's just staring at it for a little bit and walks away. And then you see the crime scene photographer look and go, oh shit, there's blood on the ground. Oh fuck, I missed that. Let me take a picture of that real quick. Hang on.
And you don't see it right away, but he also has these cool contact lenses that record everything.
Yeah.
Which I have no idea how that fucking works.
It's an extremely cool piece of technology though. Like,
yeah.
I love that idea. I think that's perfect for Batman. I love that.
And you get a better look at the suit in that scene, him walking around. And, like, you get how heavy the suit is because, like, every time he walks, it's, like, not, like, crushing, but, like, you hear the ground, like, the wood just, like, not bend, but creak under, like, his weight and no one else's.
Yeah, he's a very heavy man. And, like, the other thing is, this movie isn't shy about showing how strange Batman looks juxtaposed against normal people. Like him walking into the crime scene, it's very clear he shouldn't be here. Like this fucking cosplaying vigilante ass man just showing up and like a bunch of people trying to do their fucking jobs, and you're like, why are you here?
No, and that's a valid that's very valid because we all know that Gotham, which is a shithole in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Is very like you have the normal ass cops and detectives and crime scene people, and then you have fucking Batman walking in. Everything is normal, and they're just like, "What the? Wait a minute!" Like everything in the city's normal. You know, you got your gangsters and thugs and stuff, but then you just have Batman, this guy who, in all honesty, he's just been fighting crime and stopping crime. They have no reason to believe that he should be there.
Yeah. They're like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna punch one of us? Like, what the fuck?
But this is a crime scene. He's not a detective, and like, but little did they know that he is a detective.
Not only that, but like the reason why he's there is because the Riddler left a note for Batman on him. So it's like, okay, makes sense that Batman's here now. Yeah,
they're like, oh, it's for Batman, and the Riddler's leaves riddles, but also leaves them in cipher.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he has to figure out the cipher, and then it's so funny watching Gordon with the Batman, because Batman, like, barely talks, but Gordon's like, what does this mean? What could this be? And, like, he's like a very normal, like, fast-talking guy.
Yeah.
And,
how's this gonna
Batman's
help? I don't understand what this code stuff is. I just want to be a cop.
He's
all
like,
right,
don't,
Gordon.
Don't worry about it, Gordon. I got this. And just fucking... and it's also funny that the bat symbol is in, like, an empty building, and only Gordon knows. And eventually Catwoman.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I asked you, I was like, how do people not know where the fucking bat symbol is? And you're like, I don't know.
They just don't?
They just don't. Or they just don't want to go up there, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck, that must be where he's at.
Maybe there's a bunch of criminals, though, that, like, have found it, and they're like, oh, shit, this is the bat symbol. Oh, I don't want to break it. Batman's probably got fucking cameras and shit up here. He'll kick the shit out of me.
He'll come to my house.
Hey, Batman, I see it, but I'm not doing nothing. I gotta go. Hey.
You see me, Batman? I'm not touching it. I'm leaving it alone.
It's cool. I love what you're doing out here. It's great.
Why is everyone in Gotham? Everyone in Gotham has that New York, Brooklyn accent.
It's great. So I feel like that's also just because that's the one accent you and I know how to do. And we're like, everybody talks like that. Yeah.
It's downtown Gotham with Brooklyn. But
hey, I'm Catwoman. I got a lot of cats. I like strays.
Hey, it's me, Catwoman. Batman. You got a handsome face. Let me rub on the old Bruce Kadoosh.
Batman, you like my hand knit hat? I think it's real cute. My grandma made it for me. My Nona.
I see you got a mask. You like my Catwoman mask? It's so bad.
Batman's like, yeah, that's the one thing is Catwoman's like quote unquote mask is very not good at what it's doing. It looks like someone made a hat a little too small, like a hat that was supposed to go under her chin, but they made the chin part too small, and so it just wraps around under her nose. It's like, what the fuck? That's not protecting anyone's identity.
It looks like one of those skiing masks with the hole already for your eyes, so you put your goggles over them. But like it was like a child's one, so now she just puts the bottom over her nose.
Well, yeah, and the mouth is completely exposed, and her neck, and fucking anything else.
Her eyes, her face, everything but her nose. Like it's easy to tell who she is. And like I said, she's very a minuscule part of the movie. Like at first, she's like, I gotta find my friend. They kidnapped her. And then you realize that she died, and then she's like, oh, well, now I'm going to steal money from Falcone. He owes me. And then Batman uses her to get into the iceberg lounge to, like, scope out people. And that's about it. Like, she doesn't really play a big part.
Oh, she ends up, like, toward the end doing some stuff with a cop and doing some stuff with Falcone again.
Yeah, well, she ended up because Bruce put the chip on her eye so he could see, which was a cool piece of tech, which it's facial recognition. So he's like, you need to look at these people for like a little bit so the computer can figure out who they are. And then he figures out like cops and DAs and everyone are like in with Falcone.
Yeah, it's like, so, and that, by the way, that doesn't happen to... Like, when Batman is wearing them, he doesn't get that facial recognition stuff, which I appreciate that was an interesting detail, because, like, that does mean that, like, the contact lens can record video, but it doesn't have the processing power to, like, look up databases and shit. Like, he had to be at a computer that was doing that to, like, take a look at faces and figure out who they are.
He has to put the recording, like, later onto the computer, so that way the computer can recognize the faces. So it's not this like fantasy tech that is so far off that we can't do it. It's just because I know there's contacts that can take like pictures right now, but not to like the effect that he's doing. But you know, he's got his recordings and then hooks them up to a database that I'm sure he has compiled of like faces and stuff in the city. So it makes sense. Like it's grounded in reality. Like you could
Yeah.
see this actually happening. Like spies could use this.
Yeah, it's very sick. It's a very cool piece of technology. So yeah,
And
like the first time that you see this is like Batman is just like looking around the crime scene, and then after he's done at the mayor's place, he like puts on his fucking I'm a homeless man with a dirt bike outfit and drives into like an abandoned subway station and all the way down, and apparently it's like his lair is under Wayne Tower. There's not a Wayne Manor. Wayne Manor is in Wayne Tower. So like Batman just lives in the center of the city.
No, Wayne Manor is like far off because they show Bruce in Wayne Manor, and then when he gets the phone call, like you see Wayne Tower in the distance. Remember?
I don't think that's true because like okay, toward the end, remember like the sins of the father part, right? We're jumping ahead in the movie, but at some point, Riddler's pissed off at Thomas Wayne, and he's like, well, now Bruce Wayne has to pay. And so he's like sent Bruce Wayne a bomb, and like Batman's driving back, and he's like, Alfred, fucking Batman! But like, it's too late, and this bomb is like gone off. And as he's driving back, it's fire coming out of Wayne Tower.
Yeah.
So like, that was in like a study.
I think they're two different places. It just wasn't.
It could be.
It wasn't like it didn't come across that way. Like they didn't really. You don't really see Bruce at his house a lot, only until like in the cave, which I really like because I don't want to see Bruce just chilling in his house, like trying to figure out shit. I like that he's just Batman all the time. And, like, when he's Bruce Wayne, he's just using his computer. He's not like Bruce Wayne because he wants to be. He has his suit off, and, like, he's investigating stuff through his computers, or he's looking at clues.
Yeah.
And, or at the funeral scene, you know, where he's Bruce Wayne, and, like, that's the only time you see him as Bruce Wayne other than going and talking to, like, Carmine.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, fair. Like... That's how what I think is a good Batman movie. You wanna go in all on Batman because just like in the comics or everything, Batman is the one who is detecting stuff as Batman, like in the cave or out in the scene, and he's like using his comm to talk with Alfred and being like, "Can you look up in the computer and check this or tell me where this is?" You like to see Batman like progressively fighting crime and then like getting info from like Alfred from the cave are like, now I need to go here. So like just going from place to place as Batman, and then we always figure that in his downtime that he's sleeping with as Bruce Wayne, or maybe during the day for like a few hours he's doing Bruce Wayne shit. But we don't need to see that.
Yeah. Yep. And okay, I just checked it up. So, you remember the orphanage?
The scene in the movie? Yeah.
Yeah. That's Wayne Manor.
Really?
So, yeah. So, there's a prequel novel to the Batman, which now I want to read, called Before the Batman, an original movie novel. And it says, instead of residing in their ancestral home, Thomas and Martha moved into Wayne Tower in the heart of Gotham with their young son Bruce while they donated to the Wayne Manor to the city. The house became an orphanage for Gotham's underprivileged youth, and one of those boys growing up at the shelter being Edward Nashton. So, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I like I was saying, I like this opinion that we don't see a lot of Bruce Wayne, but like, man, my coworker pisses me off because he's like, The Dark Knight's better because we get to see more Bruce Wayne. I'm like, who wants to see Bruce Wayne? You want to see Batman?
This Bruce Wayne is fucking sick, dude. Like, I love this Bruce Wayne because he's not like he's a maladjusted emo kid weirdo that like he's never grew out of his like I'm very grim dark phase.
He's very angsty and like doesn't have high opinions of like anybody, even to like Alfred. He's like, you're not my dad, And
Yeah.
fucking Alfred's like, but I served your dad for like 20 years.
He's like, oh, but I raised you, pretty much.
And
but
Alfred's trying his best.
yeah, Alfred's just out here trying to survive, dog.
And
With
like
this
he's
ungrateful ass rich boy.
yeah, he's like, how are you gonna go to a funeral without cufflinks? And then he gives him Wayne cufflinks, and he's like, oh, what did he say? He like insulted
He's like,
him.
oh, so you're a Wayne now?
Yeah, you're a Wayne now? And he's like, I served your father for 50 years. Your father
Yeah,
gave them
your
to
father
me as a
gave them
gift.
to me.
Yeah, and then Bruce is like, oh, well, now I feel bad. Just you could see it in his face, like, oh, my bad.
But like, so I was completely expecting Bruce to have like witty banter and stuff. So like at the beginning, you know, Bruce takes off his stuff and he's like analyzing the contact lens footage and like looking for Cypher, like trying to do the Cypher thing. And Alfred comes down and is like, hey, we gotta like whatever, investors are here, the accountants are here, you gotta come upstairs. And he's like, they're talking about something, and he's like, "Oh God, horrible business that." And at one point, he's like, he's analyzing the footage, and he sees Catwoman. Fucking Alfred is like, "Oh, is this a new female friend?" And fucking Bruce's response is my favorite because he's just, this is legit what it is. I don't know yet. That's it. Like, no emotion, just like
nothing.
very, very much like quiet. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't know, Alfred. Like it's just like whenever your dad comes in and is like, "Hey, what'd you do at school today?" And you're like, "Nothing. It was fine."
Hey, get out of my room. Just very aloof. Very like doesn't even care. He's all about the crime.
Mm-hmm.
He's all about the mission.
Yeah. His like being Batman is like his mission, and it's not even like he takes a lot of pleasure in doing it. It's just like the thing that he has to do.
Yeah,
it's
he's
awesome.
upset.
I love this take.
He's more upset like that Gotham is just becoming a cesspool, or like an even bigger cesspool because it's always been shitty.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I think one of my favorite scenes. I like the whole movie. Like, it's hard to pick a favorite, but the funeral scene where Batman is trying to figure out the code and get the info out of the DA with the bomb in his neck. I did not see it going down like the way it did.
Yeah, same. Like, so basically, we already talked about the scene. That's like, you can watch the preview of it. Basically, the funeral's going on. Batman knows the Riddler's going to be there, doesn't know how, and then a car drives in containing the DA, and the DA we had just like Batman and Catwoman, like Batman had Catwoman where the contact lens in the iceberg lounge.
They figured he was dirty. He was taking deals under the table to keep Carmine out of jail.
Mm-hmm. And they've got some kind of rat. You know, they know there's a rat somewhere, and it had to do something with the Maroni bust. Which, by the way, for the first half of the movie, I didn't understand that Falcone and Maroni were two different people. I thought it was Falcone. And I just breezed past the word Maroni and was like, "Oh, those are the same people." I don't know why he's out of prison though. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, there's two like big crime bosses, and like they take a back seat to like Batman's like villain quartet like in the comics, like, but Carmine Falcone and Maroni in the comics are still somehow big gangsters in the Batman universe, even though you have all these fucking wackadoos.
That's the thing. All the wackadoos just want to like hurt people. None of them want to like sell drugs and make a bunch of money. It's crazy.
Yeah. They just want to hurt people and like cause panic.
Yeah.
But like then you got the crime lords who are like doing crime and like actually they're like, "Oh man, we're out here doing crime," and then we got these assholes out here just causing a ruckus.
Hey, you know what? I say, let the joke out, eh? You know, I'm gonna go sell some shit while he's out making people laugh or whatever he does. I don't pay attention to the news.
I don't even know who he is. They let him out, I say. That way I could sell more drugs and they could take the heat off me and my boys.
Who's the Riddler? Love him though. Don't know. He sounds great though.
And then you have fucking the Penguin, who's like an actual crime lord, like in the comics, but the second hand of Falcone here in the movie, and like he's doing like crimes, and he is like so well written and so well acted. Like it's no wonder he's getting his own spin-off show.
Yeah, Colin Farrell was fucking awesome. He did so good.
For right when you see him, to like right at the end, like there is no bad Penguin. Like they made the Penguin so likable in this movie. Like you love to hate him. Like he's like a scum, sleazy, like
He's
just
so slimy.
and you just love it. Like you don't like it in real life, but man, you just every time the Penguin's on the screen, you're like, oh fuck. You just like give
I love
me
this
more.
guy. He's here.
And like even when he's being like good, like when Bruce like comes up to Falcon, he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Who are you? Who's this young guy?" And then like he's like, "I gotta talk to Falcone," and he's like, "All right, I guess we're gonna go over here now." And then like he's just so cartoonishly evil.
Yeah, it's
Everyone-
great. He's got like an over the top kind of character where like, yeah, everyone else is very grounded. Penguin's the other one that's like, "Hey, bada bing!" It's fucking awesome. He sounds like he had auditioned for The Sopranos and they were like, this is too much.
Yeah,
you're taking it one step too far.
He came too strong. Like they're just like, all right, we got an alpha guy, and like his audition was like, hey, Tony, we gotta get this guy a meatball sub, and we gotta kill him. And
We gotta turn this guy into meatballs or what? Stromboli.
We gotta go eat my mama's spaghetti and meatballs.
Sunday gravy. You know what I mean?
He's so good. Like even the car chase scene, which is so fucking good.
God, it's so good. My wife actually, after the movie, was like, man, so like Batman I know isn't supposed to kill people, but like how many people do you think died in that fucking car chase? And I was like, yeah, good question, actually.
See, but that wasn't the Batman. The Penguin caused
that's
that
what I told them. I was like, nah, that wasn't the Batman. That was Penguin was the one who was driving crazy, and they were like, I don't know.
Look,
seems
Batman,
like he could have ended the whole car chase pretty quick.
Look, Batman didn't have time to save those people in that exploding truck. Okay? Penguin caused that explosion, and he made a calculated decision to be like, okay, well, they're already dead, presumably. I just need to catch the Penguin because there's even bigger crimes afoot.
Yeah, I got to ramp over the fire.
Yeah, and that while the Penguin's, I got you! Fucking, like, I don't know about you, but while I was watching in the theater, like, I was giddy like a fucking like a schoolboy just watching. I was like excited.
Oh yeah. I actually like, the part that I got most excited about is like, so basically the whole way that this happens is like they decide, you know what? The Riddler leaves a clue that's like something about like a rat with wings. And so he's like, okay, let's like a penguin. Penguin is like a rat with wings, basically, like a flightless bird. I don't know, like that sounds like as good a lead as any. And so they're gonna go chase down the Penguin. They fall into this deal. They've got a drug in universe called drops, and so they're going to this drops factory, right? Him and Gordon, and then fucking Catwoman shows up, and turns out that her friend is dead and in a bag, and that was sad.
Yeah. I think what's funny. I'm sorry to interrupt you. What's funny is like, they get to Gordon and Batman get there and they're like, okay, everything's going as planned, and then he sees Catwoman. Maybe not.
Yeah. He's like, things just got complicated.
Gordon's like, what?
Huh? Wait. What was you saying? So yeah, Batman is like up on the roof, just like watching, and then Catwoman shows up and he sees that Catwoman is stealing some shit, and he's like, hey, maybe you don't want to steal this stuff from these like very dangerous people. And then while they're having that conversation, they get caught, and fucking Penguin has like a or like an automatic gun, like a MAC-10.
No, he has like I don't want to say a Tommy gun. It's like an Uzi.
Yeah. And so he's spraying, and he's like, "Thank you, vengeance! You over there?
Thank you, vengeance!" And then like just shooting at Gordon, and then like after like everyone's shooting at each other, he fucking picks up his bags of money and runs to his car, and they're like, "Hey, where you going?" While still getting shot.
Yeah, so he's about to leave, and then you hear this high-pitched, like, whine, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good choice. Like, the fact that this, like, I know this is the Batmobile starting, because it's starting off with, like, bat screeching, effectively, and then the fucking lights turn on, and the engine starts roaring. You're like, oh, fuck, this is awesome.
Yeah, and like, then you see Penguin's face, like, oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck! And then the Catwoman's using like a metal whip out of nowhere.
Yeah.
She like beats some people with the whip, and then we go to like the next scene. Oh fuck! Sorry. My fucking cup of soda fell.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, it was empty.
Oh, that's good.
It's fine. So all of this is going on, like. They capture the Penguin and they interrogate him, and then they leave him. That was a funny scene too. And
yeah,
then he was
which, by the way, I also have an issue with that because, again, just in case anybody forgot, the Penguin just got done murdering a bunch of people on the fucking highway, and they decided, we got bigger fish to fry. Let's leave him tied up out here.
Yeah, let's leave him tied up. And he's like, "Hey, what are you gonna do about me?" And then he was like. That's not El Rata. That's La Rata. You need to learn your
Don't you know Spanish?
Fucking Penguin. Don't you know Spanish? Fucking.
Really fucking good. They're
So
like,
fucking-
shit, what does that mean?
Like, because like,
Lata.
yeah, that's not La Rata. It's El Rata. Which means a rat with wings. Like someone I know. Fucking looks at Batman.
And then he fucking, they piece it together based off that. He's like, oh shit, it's URL, Rata
Yeah.
Lata. And then it's ratalata.com. You go there, which, by the way, I think is
That's a
still
real
up.
website. It's a real website.
So yeah, if you go to ratalata.com, it's got a thing. You can do some stuff on it. Very cool.
They allude to the next villain in the movie. They also give you comic books, numbers, dates. One of the dates are all the dates in there is like the first appearance of Batman, the first appearance of Catwoman, Penguin, and Riddler.
Yeah, I'm looking. There's like, it's a lot of images. Like they give you a zip file of images.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. There's a PDF of a journal. It's cool. This is all very cool.
Yeah. So we didn't even as we're talking, like, we didn't even get into like Riddler doing his shit.
Mm-hmm.
So Riddler, every time he kills someone or he's about to, like, he makes a fucking a Facebook Live where
Yeah.
he's like, liars, they're all liars, and I gotta kill them. And
Yeah. He's just this unhinged maniac that's like, all of them are liars, and they're here to they're here to they're taking down the city. And like, it's just one thing after the next, the next, and it's just like, he really does seem like a fucking QAnon dipshit that's just like yelling about stuff on the internet. Like, he's basically Alex Jones, but somehow more dangerous.
That's what I told you last time, and like, you didn't believe me.
It's very good. I love that choice.
Yeah, that he's just a very crazy, unhinged conspiracy nut. Except his conspiracies are true. That all the rich people are dirty, and he's doing something about it. But like, what it comes down to is he thinks that that's what Batman wants. Like, he has like this fantasy in his head that Batman and him are working together, and he's doing what like Batman doesn't want to do. He's just like, I'm doing the killing so that way, you will stay in the good light. And Batman's like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then, especially after they catch him, right? Which is funny. So, like, after he kills Carmine, right?
Mm-hmm.
After he kills Carmine.
Falcone, yeah.
Yeah. After he kills Falcone, Carmine Falcone, he escapes into, like, the diner next door, and they're like, oh, he escaped, and have a witness saying that they saw him right there. And, all the cops come in, and he's like, I ordered a piece of pie, and then they arrest him and take him away.
Yeah.
And then I think the interrogation scene with Batman and him is so fucking good.
It's so tense.
Because Batman already thinks that he knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Mm-hmm. And the Riddler starts like the interrogation off with Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. Bruce Wayne. And then Batman's like, fuck. And like he's getting ready to like take off his cowl and be like, okay, what do you want? But then the Riddler's like, Bruce Wayne needs to die next, and I'm sure you agree with me. And he's like, this is why would you think that I want that?
Yeah. Well, the thing, like, it's toward the end, right? Like, it's this interrogation scene, and he says Bruce Wayne a number of times, and you could tell the Batman is like, fuck, this dude knows. Like, and especially, they want the audience to think that, because, like, they go through the Riddler's apartment, and the Riddler's like last video is a password protected video called Unmasked. And Batman is like, Batman tells Gordon, he's like, you're a good cop. This may be the end of this whole Batman thing. And then, he goes to see the Riddler, and the Riddler like says Bruce Wayne a number of times. and then he's like, the only unfortunate thing is we didn't get Bruce Wayne, did we?
Yeah, and Batman's like,
didn't get Bruce Wayne. And that's whenever Batman is like, oh, wait a second. You don't fucking know. Oh.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm still, the jury is out for me as to whether or not the Riddler knows or not. Because, like, they made you think that it was a bait and switch. But at the same time, the Riddler could just be like, because the Riddler was also saying all that stuff about, like, the suit is who you are. Like, you are Batman.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are outside of the suit. Like, you are Batman. And then it's the same for me. When I put on that suit, I felt powerful and I could do what I wanted to do. And like, that's the common thing we have between us. And so it could just be that he knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, but he's like, by exposing to you, like, the stuff that your dad did with, like, Falcone and the stuff with your family, and like how shitty the city is, and maybe I have killed Bruce Wayne, and the only thing left in your body is Batman.
Yeah. So, like, maybe there is that, because, like, but I think maybe not, because, like, he's upset. Well, I would say because he's upset that Batman is not on his side, and he definitely does want to kill Bruce Wayne. Yeah. But then again, like, after he finds out that Batman's not on his side, he goes into like this just breakdown, like this breakdown of like, oh no, it's like, what? He's like, oh man, and then like after
it's like we were supposed to be in here together, and we were gonna watch it all together,
and then he figures out, oh shit, it's not over, because like they figure out that, oh fuck, the Riddler has planted bombs all across the city.
Yeah, so like, basically the Riddler is like, oh, he's like, oh, we were supposed to do this together, and
yeah, we're supposed to watch the city crumble.
And Batman's like, wait, it's not over. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, I gave you all the pieces. Yeah, God, you're not as smart as I thought you were. Yeah. And then Batman goes back to the Riddler's apartment, and he's looking around, and then a fucking cop comes around the corner and is like, hey, what are you doing here? And then it's Martinez, and he's like,
he's like, I missed a piece of something. He's like, hey, that's a bench scraper. He's like, that's
he pulls out the murder weapon. He's like, oh yeah, that's can't believe he killed him with a carpet tool. Yeah. Batman's like, what? And he's like, yeah, my old man used to work in the trade. That's what you use to pull up to it was like push down carpet.
Yeah.
And that's what Batman goes, oh shit, this apartment is covered in carpet. So he just starts fucking ripping out. Number one, he uses the murder weapon.
Yeah.
Which is like evidence. He's using this fucking carpet scraper as a carpet scraper now, which is not a good idea because again, it is evidence.
Well, they do have to be fair, they already have the Riddler dead to rights, so it doesn't even matter.
So he pulls up this carpet and it's this map of the city on the bottom, and it's God, I forgot what it said. It's like ready for something.
Yeah.
So then he types that into the unmasking video. And this is actually one of my favorite Riddler moments is the video that he watches. It's the Riddler just in his bedroom. And he's like, hey guys, it's probably going to be my last video. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting on the videos and all the comments. You guys really understand what I'm trying to do here in the mission.
Like you just
that's
did a
some YouTuber
video.
shit. He just sounds like a YouTuber. It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah. And then like you see the comments on the side like, oh, you can get those masks at a hardware store. I got this type of rifle. What type of caliber do you think would be like?
Yeah, rifle is better. Make sure you get this kind of stuff. Yeah.
So like it looks very real. Like he rallied together all these fucking like QAnon conspiracy people.
Yeah. And he's brought them all together to do like to do something, and Batman's trying to figure out what it is. And then like this is another thing where it's like, all right, I get that it's a movie, but like, come on. They pulled up the carpet, right? There's a map of the city. He watches the video. He turns around, and then there are these blinking LEDs
there's a
all
map
around the map of the city.
And I was just like, well, how long's that been on? And like, there was a bunch of people in there. They didn't break any.
Yeah, no one saw it, or
and like
did it just turn on? Because those weren't on whenever he like pulled the carpet up. I don't think.
I think they were, but I think he just like did it like so fast that they didn't show you until they did the like top down perspective.
Yeah, and then it turns out that the Riddler's plan is basically he's going to blow up the seawall, right, and flood Gotham, create a bunch of panic. Like, obviously people are going to die in the flood, but the big thing here is that this is the night of the mayor election, and so there's a bunch of people that are in this like amphitheater place, right?
Yeah.
And people that are evacuating are not going to be able to leave. They're going to have to seek shelter, and that's like the hurricane shelter for the city. So he's like, oh yeah, they'll go there. And then all of these like QAnon dumbasses that follow me are going to be up in the rafters with rifles and shit. And they're just going to start fucking murdering like important people.
Yeah.
Like
they're going to
murder and cops and, you know, whoever.
Yeah. And the thing I like is Batman, he did not get there in time to save the seawall from getting destroyed. Like he didn't defuse the bomb. The bombs blow up and then start flooding the city. And he's like, oh, fuck. And then like
shit.
So like then you have him like trying to communicate with Gordon that you need to get the mayor out of there and you need to get the people out of there. He's like, the Riddler wants it to happen. The seawall just got blown up. And like and then you see Gordon like trying to scramble to trying to get people out and like save people, but they're like, fuck no, we're not afraid of nobody.
Yeah. It's kind of fucking crazy too. Just like the amount of times that like, you know, you're watching all these people panicking in this place and you're like, well, this is like really legit what would be happening if something was happening. And like the mayor's trying to go out there because she's like, well, I'm not corrupt. I'm cool. I'm going to try and calm these people down. And so she goes out to the stage and is like, guys, if I could just have your attention, just give me your attention for a second. We're trying to keep everyone safe. And then she looks up and notices there are two fucking gunmen up there.
Yeah.
And she gets shot. And fucking Gordon's like, I fucking told you, basically.
Yeah, and they're all dressed like the Riddler, while Batman is like scrambling to get there. And then when he finally gets there, remember I told you the scene that I liked when he used the grappling
Yes!
hook? Fucking
that is,
God.
As soon as it happened, I went, oh, this is the shit Fee was talking about. This is dope.
Yeah, and then he beats all their asses while getting fucking shot.
Yeah, dude, like, okay, so he's like, he's getting shot a bunch, but he's still like kicking people's asses, and like they're like, the nice thing is, this reminded me of the Spider-Man video game. Like, he can beat the shit out of someone and kick them off the rafter because they've got harnesses that are gonna like make sure that they don't fall. So, he can just kick someone off and then they're disabled.
So like you see him running through the rafters, just beating people up and throwing them off to the side. And then, while they're still trying to fight back, and then after he gets shot with a shotgun, the guy like slowly gets up, and Batman's definitely concussed. Yeah. And after like the guy's coming up to him, Catwoman kind of pulls him off of him, and then Batman injects this green liquid into his leg, adrenaline presumably.
Yeah.
And then beats this guy to a pulp. And
it's so good. Like, he's just like, because he punches him down to the ground pretty fast, and then he punches him in the face fucking 8 or 9 times, just like rapid fire, like and then fucking Gordon is like, "Whoa, it's cool," and then like he turns around, and it's such a good reaction because like he puts his fists up back into like fighting stance, but you can tell he's like shaking and his fucking face is like unfocused and like
like he lost where he was for like a minute, and then after he pulls the guy's mask off, the guy's like, "I'm vengeance," and then goes unconscious.
Yeah, which, oh man, my wife loved this movie too and was like, "Man, that must have felt real fucking bad to see like these terrorists being like, 'Yeah, I'm vengeance too,' and he's like, 'You son of a bitch, that's not the point, you
because
dumbass.'"
In their head, they think that they're doing the right thing.
They are positive that them and Batman are on the same team.
So like that's another cool thing. That's very grounded in reality. These people who think they're doing the right thing, like, but they're obviously not.
Yeah.
So, it must have been confusing to them to see Batman, like, taking them out.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I thought we were going to say, what the hell? And then, then, everyone's going to get electrocuted, and Batman jumps and, like, cuts the cord while getting electrocuted and falls down. And then he's still fucking dazed, gets up and goes and saves people. And in the flooding water, and then the look on the mayor's face, because the mayor was not down with Batman being a vigilante. Mm-hmm. And then he saves her, and then she's like, "Oh, fuck." Like,
yeah, like, but she's not gonna take his. So basically, they're like the water's coming in. A bunch of the stuff on like the rigging has fallen down, and her and like 5 other people or 10 or whatever are trapped under this rigging. And the water is rising. One of the people that's in there is the kid, the mayor's kid, who he like locked eyes with the first like on the murder night, and like, Batman moves some stuff out of the way and like puts his hand in. He's trying to get the mayor's hand, and the mayor like won't grab it. And then he moves over to the left, and this like, the mayor's kid grabs his hand. He pulls this kid out. And then like he pulls out the mayor, and that's another really funny thing is he pulls out those 2 people, and then he starts swimming away while everyone else like starts swimming behind him. And I was like, "You're not gonna help anyone else out? They're just gonna have to save themselves."
Yeah.
You just wanted to save those 2, I guess. Okay,
yeah, that's what I said. I was like, those are the important people. And then he cracks open a flare, and then like he leads people out, and then it shows like the sun coming up, and like he's still rescuing people with firefighters. And then, like, the lady is, like, dearly holding on to him. And then, like, at that point, he realizes, oh, man, I am making a difference.
Yeah, he's like, I'm making a difference. And it's not so much that, like, I'm, representing vengeance to these people. It's that I'm representing hope that things are going to get better.
Yeah.
And that's, like, a really positive way to end this off, too. And, like, he's, for all of Batman's faults, like, I really like that this is the first time that he's like, oh, wow, okay, so, like, I am sort of representing hope for these people, and I'm doing a good thing here. Like, him saving people in the daylight and, like, putting them up in this helicopter, you could tell that he's still fucking dog-ass tired. Like,
yeah, he is going
to have to recover.
He's all muddy and beaten up and shit. And then, like, that day goes on, and then they're just like, oh yeah, we can rely on Batman, and then Penguin took over Falcone because after he came out, before he got shot, he's just like, yeah, he's the rat. He's the one that giving up all the stuff. And then he got shot. So then, like,
God, that's such a good fucking scene too, because like, Batman. So there's another mirroring thing here that happens where, like, when Batman is walking by the cops to get into the murder scene, everybody's like looking at him like, what a fucking freak. He's leading Falcone out of the Iceberg Lounge, and like all of the club goers like, oh shit, it's fucking Batman, and they're all like averting their eyes, just like when he was walking into the murder scene. And so he pulls out Falcone. And he's like, yeah, Falcone's like, you think I won't get out of this? I'll get out of this in like an hour. I'll see you tomorrow, Batman. And they fucking walk outside, and it's all of the cops and fucking reporters in the city, because like the leaked audio of him murdering Catwoman's friend was sent to the press.
TV. Yeah.
And so they're all there, and of course, Penguin, being the scumbag that he is, sees this as an opportunity to like seize control. He's like, I'm going to basically usurp the throne right now. And so he's like, yeah, you take him. He's the fucking rat. We don't like rats around here.
Yeah, we don't like guys like him. And now I'm the boss.
And then fucking Falcone's like, so what? You think you're strong now? You think you're a big man with your big suit now?
Yeah.
Penguin's like, maybe I do.
Yeah, maybe I am a big man. Just he's like, but we don't like rats. And all the guys behind him like, yeah, we don't like rats.
Like, yeah, I don't like rats either. This fucking penguin guy's starting to make a lot of sense. Rats.
A penguin never lead me wrong. And then fucking
Falcone, just so cool, so calm. It's just like, you think you're a big man now in your big fucking suit? Yeah. Like, I was like, what a way to cut Penguin to the bone, being like, why are you fucking doing this?
Just real cool, like, oh, you want to do this to me right now?
Fucking embarrassment.
Damn.
And then Penguin can't let that be the last thing, right? Because like, he needs to save face. He needs to have a strong showing here. So he pulls out a gun, no intent to use it. Clearly, he's like, I'm a fucking. And then they like tackle him. A gunshot happens, and
he's like, I didn't do nothing.
Falcone is shot, and then as soon as that happens, Penguin's like, oh, I didn't shoot. hey, well, I didn't shoot. It wasn't me. I didn't shoot.
I didn't do nothing. You can look at
the second that he was like out of immediate danger, and he knew that like he could get arrested for murder, he's like, oh, I didn't do that. I just wanted to scare him with my big gun.
Yeah, I just wanted to show him who's boss.
Fucking Penguin. Oh yeah, and it turns out the Riddler is like in his apartment, and he like just took a sniper rifle to Falcone.
Fucking, and then Falcone's done for. So the next time we're gonna see Penguin, he's a crime boss. And, then after everything is said and done, Batman leads everyone out, we have the end scene with the Catwoman's like, I think I'm going to go to Bloodhaven. I don't think I'm going to stick around here. And Batman's like, all right, I guess so. And then, like, they drive away, like, separately.
Yeah, Batman's like, okay, cool. Also, my wife and I were talking about this on the way back. I really liked the romance between Batman and Catwoman in this, specifically because it seemed extremely one way. Oh. It seemed like Catwoman was very into Batman, and Batman was just not into her. Like, almost every kiss was initiated by Catwoman. Yeah. Like, the first time that, like, Catwoman thinks they're about to kiss, she's like, oh, Batman's super hot and just fucking standing right here, and he's about to make out with me, and then Batman's like, here, take this earpiece, and she's like... Motherfucker.
Yeah, every time they kiss, Batman's like, I guess this is happening.
Batman's like, okay, whatever.
I like the scene where she finds the guy who killed her friend, and then like she like is gonna throw him off and then runs away, and Batman saves him. And then I forget where he runs off to, but then like he's like, Gordon, I gotta go do this thing. And then he like latches on to one of the pipes and then runs down the building.
just sprints
fucking-
down
yes.
the building. Yeah. That's like another super good scene is like after basically
the cop interrogation
the church
after the
scene.
bomb.
Oh yeah. So the church scene happens, right? The DA is there, and Riddler is fucking FaceTiming Batman, and he's like trying to get answers out of him. Which, by the way, I thought it was fucking crazy that he was like, he's asking for bribes. How much money do you take? How much money do you take?
And look, I'm a
the
dead
DA
man
was
either
just
way.
like 10 grand to like not prosecute certain cases, and I heard that and went, damn, just 10 grand?
Yeah,
what the
no
fuck
shit,
is wrong with you, DA?
When I heard, I'm like, you make like more than that a year.
You have to make more than that. And like, these are crime bosses that are asking you to do this. Fucking ask for more.
Yeah, 10K on the side. Come on, dude. That's nothing.
It's fucking ridiculous. And so I heard that, and that was really funny. But then he's like, all right, now you gotta give up who the rat is. And he's like, come on, you gotta tell me, otherwise you're gonna die. And fucking,
He's like, I'm gonna die
the
either
DA's
way.
like, no, he's gonna kill my family.
I'm dead either way. And then fucking blows up right in front of Batman.
Blows up. Batman like passes out because he has a bomb blown up in his fucking face. He wakes up as someone is about to rip off his mask in
punching
GCPD.
Just punching
And then,
like, ah!
yeah, he starts fucking wailing on cops, and it's like, all right. So he's like standing in the middle of all these cops, and like it's very tense. And then like Commissioner comes in, and it's like, hey, it's fucking Batman. I'm gonna get you interfere with an active crime scene. You think that I'm gonna let that go? And he's like, I don't know. You seem kind of like, he says something to imply that it could be that like this guy is also dirty, and he had something to do with the DA, like, and this like dirty deal, and the fucking the commissioner's like, you want to imply that, huh? You want to imply that I was in on this? Fucking Gordon's like, hold on, step back, everybody, step back.
Yeah,
Gordon's my friend.
Gordon, let me deal with it. Y'all give me the room. And then there's a guy behind, like this big tall guy, about as tall as Batman. He's like, why can't we unmask him now? And grabs him by like his horn. And Batman's like, hey.
Batman fucking turns around, starts beating the shit out of him. And they're like, whoa, hey,
and then
tensions are high.
Gordon pulls him in like real close, like almost mouth to mouth, like they're like touching cheeks, and he's like, listen, you gotta go upstairs and get to the roof, and that's when you get out. And then
he's like you gotta take this key out of my pocket. That's the door on the right. You're gonna go down the hall to the left. There's a door. That's the stairs to the roof. Okay.
Yeah, and then
you gotta make this look believable.
Yeah, and then Batman sees the guy who's double dipping as the bouncer in the Iceberg Lounge, and he's like, that guy's dirty, and he's like, that guy? He's like, how do you know? I broke his nose the other day. Well, Batman doesn't sound like that, but he's like, he's like,
it's like me and him got into it the other day.
Yeah, and I broke his nose. He's like, there's a lot of dirty cops in here. I just want you to know. And he's like, okay, well, you got to make this look believable. And then Batman Gordon's like, all right, guys, I think this is wham. Fucking Batman punches him. And then everyone's like, oh shit, he hit him. And then they run into the room. Batman just escaping. It's like a fucking high school, like, fucking fight. Like, once he hits him, they're like, fuck! And then they, like, try to get him, and then Batman's running through the full-on sprint through the police department. All the cops are chasing him. And then,
it's such a cool scene, too, because, he's sprinting down the hallway, and there are, dozens of cops coming out of every hallway. Like, everybody in GCPD is aware that Batman is on this floor, and some shit is happening right now.
Yeah.
And so, as soon as they're Batman's out! Fucking everybody's like, shit, we gotta get Batman! And so he goes to the stairs, he fucking grapple hooks his way up the stairs, and as he's grapple hooking through multiple floors, you see on every floor fucking cops are pouring out water. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then he gets to the roof, and it's so funny because you've never seen him actually emote at all. And then when he gets to the roof on top of the gargoyle, he's like, oh shit. And
he's like, oh god, he's afraid of this height, and you're like, oh shit, Batman's probably never jumped off of a building this time.
Yeah, he's probably never like you see him on buildings, but he's never been like roof to roof. So like he pulls this like ripcord, and he gets a flight suit, loses the cape, and then dives off the building just as the cops are on his heels. And
and then he's fucking flight suiting through Gotham, going like. That was a really good part of this because it really captured how fucking fast Batman's going.
Yeah.
Like, he jumps off of this building and he's going like fucking 40, 50 miles an hour, like through these streets, just him in his little suit, like, ah!
And then he hits the top of a bus, and
he pulls his parachute out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna land on that bus," and fucking didn't calculate that they were going under a bridge. The dumb piece of shit. So his parachute catches on the bridge, and then he
hits the bus, and then falls in the trash.
On the bridge, and he fucking falls another 20 or 30 feet across the street. Is like, "Oh God, oh that body!"
And then like you see him just get up, all fucked up. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And like he's like, "I gotta get away."
remember in Batman Begins,
Alfred.
Christian Bale's like, "Alfred, oh God, I've fallen, help!" That's what happened, except that Robert Pattinson gets up and is just like, "Fuck, dude." He's just like stumbling away, like shit.
Like he's definitely concussed. Everything's wrong with him, and he just gets on his bike and like dazedly drives away. Like, fuck, I just got out of there. Like, it's so fucking good. God, the movie's so good. And then like at the end, after everything's said and done, you see Riddler and Arkham just fucking crying and confused. And then like jump cut to the other cell where the Joker is. And Joker's like, he's like, what did he say? He's like, well, what do you value the less of that you have? Or so I don't remember what the riddle is.
The riddle was what becomes more valuable the less that you have, and the answer was friends.
And the Riddler's like, friends, as he's crying, and then
they both laugh.
Yeah, Joker's like,
they just have a great old time.
Joker's like, hey, fucking that. I don't know who's playing him. It sounds like a young guy.
Yeah,
and he has a weird prosthetic nose.
Here's the thing. I don't know that he actually did have a weird prosthetic nose. I think that's just his face.
No, dude, I'm sure in the movie that's his face, but like the makeup that they put on him, it was bulbous and huge. I'm thinking like the makeup they're putting on him is making him look like Bozo the Clown.
I'm trying to see Batman the Joker actor, right? What is his name? Oh God. I'm trying to look this up and like, oh God. No, it's not Cesar Romero. Thank you.
Really? Okay, no. So while you're doing that, I think that they set up the Joker and Two-Face as the movie's next villains. One, because the DA's dead now. So who else is going to take up the DA spot but Harvey Dent? And then
I think you're right. I think that's a really good call.
Harvey Dent. The DA's dead. Who else but Harvey Dent? Oh shit! He does have a bulbous nose.
That's just what his nose looks like, dude.
Yeah, I get it. He's weird looking. I know that actor though, but so they sequel.
His name is Barry Kogan.
Kogan. So they sequel baited the Joker, and then they also in the website they sequel bait Two-Face because they also show the first appearance of Harvey Dent Two-Face.
Really?
But yeah, in the numbers they give you on alata.com, they give the comic book issues of the first appearance of Joker.
Interesting. Okay.
Or I'm sorry, Joker. Two-Face.
Okay.
But it makes sense. DA's dead. Who else but Harvey Dent?
Yeah, totally. I'm right there.
And then you got Joker, you got the Joker being sequel baited, but then like if you read in some articles like they're like the director doesn't want the Joker or Two-Face in the next movie. I'm like, then why sequel bait them?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who else could be in the next movie? And man, my coworker again with his dog shit opinions. He's like, I don't want to see them in the they're always using the same villains. He's like, I want to see Clayface. I'm like, but Clayface wasn't like set up for like the sequel, and
yeah, Clayface would be cool, but like
he's not set up.
Yeah, that's
he's
not
not set. Yeah, he's not set up for this movie. He's like in this universe. How would they even explain it? Like he's a big clay monster. Like this is grounded in reality. I'm sure it could happen, but no.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think about that as well because, like, you know, the Clayface and God, the fucking the dude who has the Scarface puppet.
Guy, dude.
Like, there's a bunch of really iconic Batman villains, like especially from like animated series, from like other things, Calendar Man, even where you're like, I don't know about this.
They said the director said that he'd love to do a Calendar Man villain, which you can make it believable. He's a villain that kills people on holidays.
Which, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay,
makes sense. I would love to see Scarface, dude. Scarface would be so fucking good. I know
it's probably do that believable. I guess.
Yeah, it's just
I came up with a bunch of bad examples, but Clayface is not a good example. Like you can't do a straight up Clayface.
Clayface, Solomon Grundy, Mad Hatter.
Grundy. Oh God, yeah, I can't do that.
Mad Hatter, just Fire. No, you could do Firefly. I'm sure Firefly could be a good villain. I'd like to see this universe take on Bane because people are like, that thing that he injected in him is venom because it was like glowing green. So I'm like, oh, dude.
That was one of the things I thought is like it could have been venom. But for now, I'm just gonna say it was adrenaline.
Yeah, it's adrenaline. And then my coworker's like, I want to see the Court of Owls. I'm like, how would they do the Court of Owls? I'm like, there's no way they could do a Court of Owls. They didn't even set it up in this movie. And they were going into all the rich people's back history. And the Court of Owls are a bunch of, like, what's it called? Rich people with, like, secret villainous lives. And they have the court. I'm like, there's no way they set that up for the next movie. There's just none.
Yeah, that's what I thought is, that was actually one of the things that I thought is I was like, man, I'm really glad that they took a really believable thing, and decided to make like, this is like a believable villain that like has a believable motivation and like they made a movie out of that instead of something like the fucking Court of Owls where it's like, the whole time, the city's strings have been pulled by the rich people that wear these owl masks, and they have all of these secret castles all over the city. It's like,
that's like, we're going to defeat you, Batman, with our superior owl Batman.
Owl Batman? He's Owlman. We've decided.
It's so good. Like they could even do like Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows. It's just the League of Shadows makes sense too, since like now that all the powerful people are out, you know, League of Shadows wants to roll in and like destroy Gotham and make it their own.
Yeah.
But like Two-Face and Joker seem to be where it's pointing to. I'd love to see a fucking badass Bane. It's just there's so many possibilities, and you like to see the mainstream villains because you always want to see like the more likable villains in the universe of the Batman that you've just seen, to see like what their takes on it is.
Yeah, because like they can still be interesting and cool, you know. Like,
yeah,
it's not necessarily that it's like, oh, this is the same thing over and over and over again. But
well,
it's
like, why do you think people like the Joker and like these villains? Because they're like the most recognizable, and people like them the most. They like to see fun things done with them. So, like, it makes sense that you want to see some of these villains, and like little villains are fun too, like Calendar Man. He could be done, but I don't think he could carry a movie.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And like, you need something that has sort of an overarching story, which is why like Penguin coming up to like his rise to power, right? That's an interesting subplot. Catwoman getting her start with like, I hate all of these rich assholes, and this is my way of fighting back, because I'm going to start stealing from them. Great story. Happy about that. Fucking the overarching thing being the Riddler has been an orphan that has been like downtrodden in the city of Gotham, and he basically discovered the truth. That's sick. I love that.
My coworker also said, "Oh, I'd love to see him do Hush." I'm like, do you know who Hush is?
Yes.
Hush is just the Riddler.
Yeah, Hush also stole, if I'm not mistaken, stole Batman's plans for taking down the Justice League. Is that the right?
He stole the plans for taking down the Justice League and went crazy because I think he got like copped up on Venom, and then he was just gonna kill everybody. And I told him, I was like, Hush is just the Riddler. And he's like, well, it could be somebody else. I'm like, that wouldn't make sense because everyone knows that Hush is the Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why would you introduce this character that everybody knows and who everyone knows who is the what's it called? The identity of, and put him back in the movie? They just caught the Riddler.
Yeah.
It can't be anybody else.
Like, why would you do that? It just, I don't know. You would have to then make up a whole new villain of like who Hush is. And then also like, the whole reason why Hush was cool was because of like stealing the Justice League contingency plan and then using it to attempt to take down the Justice League. And as far as we know, The Batman is not connected to the other DC Universe movies. Like, I hope it remains that way too, because like I saw the preview for Black Adam and was like, oh, this is the type of like CGI superhero movie I don't like. Okay.
So I was so hoping when they sequel baited the Joker that it was going to be Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
Makes it is he is such in that universe that it would make sense that the Joker was there in the Batman universe.
It would totally make sense, but they would have had to have dropped hints for it, right? Because like there were a bunch of people like at the end of the Joker movie, which I didn't see by the way, but I do know what happens in it. Toward the end of the Joker movie, he had a bunch of people like kind of dressed up like him and following him like he was like a fucking cult leader or whatever, right?
Well,
so,
they also hinted that he could have just been lying the whole time because he was in like a psych ward just telling his psychiatrist just random shit that happened, and then he murders her, and then the last scene is him running away from like the orderlies.
Mm-hmm.
So like people are like, oh, this whole movie made it look like he was just an innocent person that happened to have this bad time and become a bad guy. And everyone feel bad for him because he was the one telling the story. So he made it seem like, poor Joker, poor him, to like the psych ward, where in reality he's just a psychotic.
Man, yeah, that would make sense, but then that almost sort of undermines the entire purpose of the movie. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it does, but it's also very in character for the Joker. Mm-hmm. That's how Harley Quinn came about, because he was being psych-evaled by her, and he was just spitting her all these lies, like, oh, I was just down on my luck, and then this happened, and I became the Joker. And I didn't really want to be in this life, and then like he got her to like fall in love with him, and then, of course, he's lying. So it's in character for the Joker, but it does undermine the movie, but not like it's more in character.
Yeah, I could see how it would work together, but I'm glad that it didn't. Honestly,
yeah, but it's one of those movies where it can be interpreted in different ways at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. The Batman is the best superhero movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I completely agree. And by the way, I just looked it up to make sure, and from what I'm seeing, Hush is actually not the Riddler. He gets help from the Riddler.
It's Two-Face,
No,
right?
he's actually. You remember the journalist that gets killed by Falcone in this movie?
Yeah.
That's Hush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Thomas Elliot. At the very least, it's the same name.
I was gonna say because, like, I think in the animated movie, it was the Riddler. I swear.
Yeah, I mean,
I swear it was
the
the
fact
Riddler.
that basically DC, like, this is the one thing that I really enjoy about DC is that when they hit on something that like really sort of resonates with fans, that seems to be like a cornerstone thing that happens no matter what universe you're in. So like, no matter what universe you're in, fucking Barbara gets shot in the spine by the Joker. No matter what universe you're in, Jason Todd gets kidnapped by the Joker and fucking killed or whatever, right? Like, or Tim, I guess. No, it's Jason, right? Yeah, it's Jason, and then Tim is the new Robin, right? Yeah. So like, no matter what universe you're in, except for one specific one, fucking Batman's parents dies, right? Like, I think it's pretty interesting that they like have those sort of cornerstone moments that happen no matter what. And Hush being like, the rest of it being remixed and being like, oh, I'm going to take out a tad bit from this story and a tad bit from that story and put them together and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because I was reading it when the first thing that came up that was like, who's Hush? It was like, it's the Riddler, right? People are asking, it's the Riddler. Let's see, I'm trying. It says Tommy Elliott, but let's see. Who's a joke? What is this? A Long Halloween? No, Batman Hush, made by the same guy I think who did the Long Halloween.
Oh yeah. Which also kind of ties into this movie because it does start off on a Halloween night. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's good. Hush Returns. I'll look it up later. I swear it was Riddler, but like I could be wrong, or maybe I'm just thinking of a different Hush because like of course everyone in DC, Hush is the Riddler in the animated movie.
Yeah.
Of course there's like different iterations and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean it is what it is. All I'm saying is I'm stoked for the next movie. This movie was so good. It was better than Spider-Man movie in my opinion.
That's a pretty bold statement, but I'm like, because I haven't seen it, so I can't back you up on this, but I'm right there with you that like this is definitely my favorite Batman movie so far.
Yeah, it's my favorite Batman movie, and like it can't be topped by like no matter what you say, what Batman you liked. Yeah, they're all good movies, but this one's the best one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a good time to wrap it up right now. We're at an hour and 30.
Yeah. Well, listen, we've so far talked about the Batman twice now for 3 hours. I think we will probably obviously mention it again in like other areas, but we will not do another full episode on it.
Yeah.
Unless we feel like it.
And yeah, what are you going to do about it? You're going to sit there and you're going to listen.
You're going to listen or you're going to rate us 5 stars. It's one of the two.
That's what you're going to do. And no matter what, you're always going to rate us 5 star. You're going to follow. You're going to leave a beautiful comment commenting on how handsome we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, that we're not going to talk about the Batman. We'll mention him, but we're not going to talk about him, because of course this was a big event, new Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
But we got all our fucking Batmans out, and next week we'll talk about something else.
All my Batmans are out.
I got, I put that motherfucking Batman on it. I got to put that thing on it. So you can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. Yep. You can find us on anything you listen to a podcast on. Facebook, YouTube. We're all on it, baby. And you gotta follow us.
We're on everything. Come at us.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Follow us, like us, tell us how good we look. Leave a comment, 5-star, follow. 5-star, not 4, 5.
As many stars as they will let you give us, give them to us. We deserve them for talking about Batman twice.
Exactly. You gotta get all your crime lords in just one place under a street lamp, and you gotta go get them.
Go get him!
Get him, go, baby.
You gotta get all your crime lords together, and you gotta have one other one on the side going, "We don't like reds! I got you!"
And then you gotta get him.
He pulls
Go
out a
get 'em.
Nerf gun. I didn't shoot!
I didn't shoot. This isn't even a gun. It's a fish. Get him. Just fucking love it. Bye.
Bye!
Cool, baby.